Shocking. Yes, I know you missed this brilliant build, so stay with me to discuss the Exorcist build for Paladins. Hello everyone, in the previous video we saw the Geomancer tanking spec for Shamans, and just like we did then, we will now review the lore and in-game mechanics that would favor a ranged DPS Paladin. Throughout Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3 and World of Warcraft, Paladins have had the ability to use the light to harm their opponents from a distance. Plus, during the Burning Crusade, there was a talent build for Paladins that involved the use of Holy Shock to deal damage. They were called the Shockadins or 40-0-21 and people loved them. In PvP, they were a force to be reckoned with. I decided to name this spec Exorcist, due to the exorcism spell, of course, that already existed in Warcraft 2. In Warcraft 3, Paladins could use Holy Light to destroy the undead, just like exorcism worked in the previous game. Of course, in World of Warcraft, this would be totally unfair for undead players, so they removed that feature from the gameplay. The signature spell, of course, would be Exorcism, but with a couple of improvements to make it more appealing. And just for fun, and this is where this spec becomes awesome in my opinion, it would be amazing if exorcists used a bow or a crossbow. Can you imagine a holy archer? I think of it and I find it totally badass and awesome. Of course, exorcist paladins would be ranged damage dealers. They would use bows and crossbows as weapons, and their main resource would be focus. So let's view the main toolbox that I came up for this build. Exorcism is the main skill for these paladins, replacing Crusader Strike as soon as you become an exorcist. With a short cooldown, Exorcism deals holy damage and increases your attack speed by 3%, stacking up to 5 charges. This spec has its own version for Judgment. When you cast this spell, the target affected receives increased damage from your exorcism. Holy Shot is the filler skill for our holy archers, dealing mixed physical and holy damage and generating the focus we need to use our other spells. The interesting aspect about Holy Shot is that your attack speed reduces the global cooldown for this skill, synergizing perfectly with Exorcism. Guiding Bolt is a strong shot with a medium cooldown, dealing massive holy damage to your target and applying Marked by the Light. This debuff increases the critical strike chance of attacks done to the target. Finally, Argent Dawn is the main tool for dealing damage in an area. By shooting a silver arrow to the sky, the paladin forces rays of sunlight to fall within a target area. All enemies within the daylight also receive damage from your exorcism. This way, the exorcist also manages to deal damage to an unmoving enemy while dealing with another target. For passives, the exorcist has Judicator, which allows using most classic paladin skills with a larger range. Heaven's Fury is what makes exorcism the most lethal skill within your arsenal, granting a chance of removing its casting speed and increasing its damage. The mastery for this spec is Blessed Arrows, adding holy damage to your auto attacks and increasing the proc chances for your mighty Heaven's Fury. For talents, the Exorcist counts with Stand Against Darkness, a great mobility and defensive skill to further increase your effectiveness in each battle. The Exorcist can call forth the spirits of fallen holy warriors with Archons. These soldiers hold the ground for you, shooting a volley of arrows to your incoming enemies. Arrows of Light may be a great talent for PvP situations, for it transforms a percentage of your holy damage into healing. Finally, Divine Verdict applies a short damage over time effect to all enemies damaged by Holy Shot and affected by Argent Dawn. Fear, enemies of the light, for the Exorcist will cleanse the evil within you with a constant, endless assault. And when you finally reach this holy archer, it will be already too late. So what do you think, guys? Would you play a holy archer? User 7993 Rails suggested a Shadow Paladin spec, which I believe is pretty sweet and reminds me of my corrupted specs ideas. Worry not, there will be a video about corrupted specs too. As for Paladins, I have already thought of a 5th spec as well, called Cavaliers. But first, we will see the ideas for all the remaining classes. Please tell me in the comments what would you like to be an additional spec for Paladins. I hope you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Remember that you can support me on Patreon if you like my work and you want to check the progress on the fanfiction novel I'm writing, Ambassadors. A huge thanks to my special patrons. See you all, guys!